Mhm.
So hi guys and welcome to our channel. Today I'm so privileged. I have a guest in my channel and I am going to let her introduce herself. Welcome, Karibu Sana Masi. You introduce yourself to my people.
Okay. Hello, guys. My name is Mercy Macau. I am a Kenyan. I love Kenya very much. Yes, and I'm glad to be here with you guys.
Ooh, Karibu Sana. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to interview with you and coming to talk to my people. You know, when I looked at your profile on YouTube, I watched almost all your videos. And one of the first things that I got from your video was I saw someone with integrity. And that's why I invited you. You know, like we give vibes. So I don't know. Where did you get your integrity?
Well, I guess it's the many years of working in the church. Not to
Yeah.
mean other people who don't work in church don't have integrity, but I guess when you grow up in a Christian family, then all my life, or let me say all my working life, I've worked in churches.
Mhm.
So you kind of develop, some good habits that you tend to keep with you. Yes. And then also my family is kind of, do always what is right so that you don't get yourself into trouble. Yeah.
Mhm. Are you
Mm-hmm.
a pastor's kid?
No. Actually, my dad was a businessman and my mom was a teacher. And then she became a businesswoman too. Yes, but no, I'm not a PK.
Uh, So
Yes.
you said was. Are your parents still alive?
No, unfortunately, my parents are deceased for many years.
Oh, I'm so sorry to
Yes.
hear that. I'm so sorry.
And no, it's good.
Yeah. So just to know, I know you're in America, so I want you to talk about how you came to America. I know
Mm-hmm.
most of my viewers are outside America
Yeah.
and they're aspiring to come to America. And that's why I was interested in your story because your story is so unique.
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many ways to come to America. So I want you to talk about how you came to America, what you did to come here, and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. Would you share your story
Yeah.
with us, please?
Yes, sure. So I've been to America like 4 different times. Yes. My first time ever was in 2010, and I came with a visitor's visa. I had come for a conference. So that one, I got an invitation to attend a conference. The second time I came to the US, I had come for my graduation. I did a master's in religious study with a university in Texas. So I came also with a visitor's visa for my graduation. Then the third time I came to work. Though initially I came with a visitor's visa, then I translated it later on to a religious visa, which is known as a R1. Yeah, and then now this is my fourth time back here as a visitor, but I'll be going back to Kenya because like my work contract came to an end, or my R1. We'll explain later what are the advantages and disadvantages of some of the visas. Yes.
Oh,
Yes, so those
wonderful.
are my 4 times that I've come and have been able to come.
Oh, great. So
Yes.
maybe we can start with the first time that you came. You know,
Yes.
how did you find a way to come to America? What did you do? And, you know, how did you, yeah, tell us the first time you came, the process, how you found
Mm-hmm.
out how to come here and all
Mm-hmm.
that.
Okay, so yes, in that 2010, I all my life or work life, I used to work in Lavington United Church, and at that time, the youth pastor got invited to a conference that happens every once in 7 years. I think I talked about it in one of my videos. So she invited us, and the youth were supposed to go and volunteer. But my age, that was the year I turned 30. So the volunteers were until 29. So I got to come as a visitor. So my pastor friend knew about the conference. So, but it was my responsibility, to apply, follow the instructions that the website was given. And then I was able to go now to the US Embassy and ask for a visitor's visa. Yes.
Okay, so what were the requirements? Like, okay, so you were given information about the conference.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what did they require? Like what type of conference is that? Are
Okay,
you at
yes.
liberty to tell us the name
Yeah,
of the
yes, yes,
conference?
yes.
Okay.
So this conference, they try to, help our churches come together, because the theme for that year was diversity, unity in diversity.
Okay.
So they were trying to, show churches how they can be united, even though we are very diverse. Yes. So, and then all they needed for you is just to be a youth to volunteer, but if you didn't want to be like a volunteer to just attend the conference, I mean, it's just to be interested in matters to do with diversity and unity. Yes, so because it was a Christian thing about unity and in with us being so diverse, how do we come together as one? You know, we are different, whether it's race, whether it's education, you know, status, so many other things. Yes.
And what's the name of that church in America?
Oh my God, do I even remember? I'd have to like research, and then maybe in the next interview, I'll let you know. But it's actually it's coordinated by the World Council of Churches. Yes, so yeah, the conference usually is run actually by the World Council of Churches.
Okay.
Yeah, so churches all over the world can participate, and regardless of whatever denomination you are. Yes.
Did you need a personal invitation, or what did you need to take to the
No, actually, because the World Council of Churches, when they're having this conference, I think they send out letters to all the churches, and everybody is at liberty to, you know, to join. Yes, and then they usually have like an application fee. So, but then also you have to cater for your expenses. So sometimes I guess that may be the downside of it, because everything you pay for yourself, whether it's the room, the board, the flight. Yes, but if you are younger, it's always a good deal because they pay for you your room, your board, but then you have to accept to go and volunteer, help out with the conference, maybe like help distribute materials, you know, just regular things when the conference is going on. Yeah. So that one is a better deal. But unfortunately, since as I said, I was over 30, the cutoff I think was either 28 or 29. Yes.
Okay, so this World Council of Churches,
yes.
Is it like a Kenyan organization or a US organization?
Oh, actually, I don't know what is the mother organization where they are located, but I know you can join them from all over the world.
Okay.
Yes, and then also all the conferences are not usually in the US. It just happened that year in 2010, it was in the US. So they keep going all over the world. Yes, yes, yeah. But in 2010, we were being hosted in Grand Rapids, which is in the state of Michigan. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So when you went to the embassy, what did tell us about your embassy experience?
Oh yeah, so the embassy. You know, it's usually so funny because that was ever my first time at the embassy, and you know the way they tell you, oh, you know, embassy is so bad. Then by that time, I was not. I mean, till now, I'm not married. I don't have children. I don't even think by then I used to have any assets. You know, because they tell you, like, even when you go to their website, they say they want to see that you have any ties, something that will bring you back. But the only tie in all the things that they said, the only thing I had was just a job because I was employed. Because also a job is something that they require. So the 4 big things they usually want is for you to show that you have a job. Maybe if you're married, they ask for your birth certificate. If you have children, you know, if you have assets, just things to show that you are grounded in your home country so that they know you're not coming, you know, to look for greener pastures. Yeah, so, but the funny bit, by then I had just started working out, so I didn't even have a lot of money in my bank account. So actually I had written, my sister was going to sponsor me. So, and the bad thing is that she's sending me her bank statements, but she only sent like 6 months, and they want you for a whole year. So I was like, what am I going to do? By the time I realized I didn't have time, but I was like, you know what, God, you better help me. So, but as I said, that was the weirdest interview of them all. So the first, when I walked into the counter, the lady just asked me, where do I want to go? So I said, why do you want to go there? So I explained it's something to do with what I work, because I was also teaching people how to help people with start businesses. And at that time, one of my roles in church was helping women, you know, like start up something, you know, do something with their lives. So there was also a component of that. So I explained, so they told me, do I have an invitation letter? Yes, the conference had sent anybody who was interested an invitation letter. So I gave the lady my invitation letter. Then after that, she asked me who's paying for my trip. So I said my sister would pay for it. And then she was like, okay, your visa is approved. Those were the days we used to go back to the embassy and get back your passport. Then she was like, okay, come back next week on Tuesday and get your passport. I was so confused. I didn't know the interview was over. So I was still standing there. Then she said, yeah, I said, come back next Tuesday, you know, because I was waiting this long, how sure am I you're going to come back? And there was none of that. I mean, once I just explained what I was going, and I knew where I was going, what the conference was all about, that was that. Yeah.
So you
Mhm.
must have been really articulate, or maybe your energies. What do you attribute that to? Do you think you explained yourself very well? Because it doesn't
Yes.
sound like that's what happens normally.
I know, because, and then the funny bit,
Yeah.
those days when you went to the embassy, like 4 of you would be called and then you go line up and you'll be interviewed by the same person. Now I was the 4th person, and the 3 people who were ahead of me, all of them were denied.
Oh
So in
man.
my mind, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, this lady has denied the 3 people ahead of me. Like, what am I going to tell her? And I remember one had a medical issue. The other one, I think, was a student, but I couldn't hear the conversation of the other person. So I'm like, my God, what am I going to say? But the one thing I would encourage viewers is, when they ask you a question, you must know exactly what you're answering. Don't look there like you are stammering or like you're not aware. So I had done a lot of research. Like if I'm asked which state I was going to, like what city. So I was very clear, what is the conference, who's organizing it, and what is the purpose of that of the conference. So I knew the answers very well. And the other funny bit is, as I was explained in one of my videos, so 4 of us were going for this conference, and all the other 3 were sponsored. I didn't even have a sponsor. Nobody was sponsoring me. And if I got the visa, it meant I had to raise my airfare and everything. And the others fully sponsored. But the funny bit, they were all denied a visa. I was the only one who was granted a visa without any sponsorship. So sometimes going to the embassy, it's not about even sometimes that you have all the right documentation. You can have everything right and you can still be denied. Or sometimes you may not even have what is required and they can allow you. So sometimes I also don't know if it's something about your personality, your confidence. Yes, because I knew she asked a question, directly. I'm not stammering. I'm very articulate. This is where I'm going. Yes, and just knowing what you're going to do. And the funny bit is they never asked me for any like any proof that I was going to come back. Because apart from the job, I didn't have any other ties, serious ties, like land, or I have this
Yeah.
big bank account. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it sounds like your confidence, your demeanor, and
Uh-huh.
a lucky day.
Yes. Let me also say maybe, or let me just say maybe God was just with me. Maybe he knew my heart, like there's no way I'm going to disappear in America. I mean, I'm just going for the conference, then I'm coming back. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. So that was your first time.
Yes,
Let's
that
talk
was
about
my
the second
first time.
time.
So my second time is when I was coming for my master's. And actually, I went there with my sister. So we are sitting there, we are being interviewed together because we said we are family and we're traveling together. Because when you're filling the information, they ask you, are you traveling with somebody? So my sister and I, we had said we are traveling together. Yeah, so we went, we gave out. So I had already had a visitor's visa. And so they checked, they saw, they had given me 1 month that time because it was my first time. So we went and I came back before the month was over. So, but my sister had already traveled to the US before. They had come for just a visit with another sibling. So the guy started engaging her in a conversation. So as he's engaging her in a conversation, I'm busy praying. I'm like, Lord God, this person might have biases. Maybe he interviews so many people can lie. So as he's talking to my sister, I'm busy praying. I'm praying like crazy. I'm like, God, please have mercy on me. Don't let me be denied this visa. Then afterwards, so he turned to me. Then he asked me a few questions like, why am I going? So I explained I'd been doing masters online with this university. Then he's like, why is the university making you go all the way? Then I'm like, no, they gave us an option, but I mean, after the sacrifice I've done, I want to go and graduate there, wear the gown, the whole shebang. So the guy was like, okay, where are you going? So I told him we knew we had the invitation letter, which he didn't even ask and look at. Then after all, I was like, you know what? I'm going to give you guys your visas. So I was
Wow.
just like, oh, wow, like,
Wow.
thank you.
Yeah.
We're there like, we're like, God bless you. Don't even know he's a Christian. We are just like, well, thank you.
So
Yeah.
what university was that, if you want to
So
share, just in case
yes,
somebody is
yes,
interested? Yeah.
true. So the university is known as Landmark Baptist Seminary. It's
Okay.
in Texas.
Okay.
Yes, but the thing is, I had known it through a Kenyan. They used to do it in Kenya, but I don't know if of late they still do it. Yes, because a church member in Levington United Church is the one who told me about it.
Okay.
And because that time I didn't have a lot of money and they were giving like a scholarship. Yes. So to Kenyans, but then you had to do it online. Then they attach you with a Kenyan professor. Yes, but I'm not quite sure because that was in 2015. That was 2015. So I'm not quite sure if they still have it. Yes. So I had started 2014, did it all the way to 2015.
So they gave you a full scholarship.
No. I had to come up with how much did I end up? I think I ended up paying like was it 100,000 Kenya shillings or something of the sort? Yeah.
For
So it
them.
was not like fully they're letting you not pay anything. No, you had it was like show us you're interested and you're going to be committed, and then they give you a certain amount that you are supposed to pay. Yes.
And you do it all online.
It's all
And then-
online, all online. Or they would send us some videos. So
Mhm.
you listen, some CDs or rather. So you listen, then you have to write a paper. And then once a week, I would meet with my supervisor. You know, he would guide me like when I was writing my paper. So this is what I want. Then we would meet like every Monday. Yes.
Okay. And you said the
Mhm.
name of university is what? What is it called?
It's Landmark Baptist Seminary.
Okay, so
Yes.
guys, check it out. Landmark
Mhm.
University in Texas, and you can do it
Mhm.
online, and then your pathway is come
Mhm.
for graduation. So what did
Yes.
they ask you to
Mhm.
provide? Like was it like a letter of graduation? What evidence did you give them?
At the embassy now?
Yes.
Yes, at the embassy, they wanted to see that indeed I'd been invited, that I even had finished my studies and I had qualified for graduation. So, and the school was very good in providing all this information. Yeah, so they provided us information on where would stay, what days were the graduation, because we had to go like a few days before there was orientation. Then also the other thing was that was also a Christian university. So they had like a service. And it was, I think, because we went with my sister, I think 2 or 3 days before the graduation. Yes. So, but they had a very good program. Like this day we are doing this. You are landing at this airport. Book tickets within these days. Somebody will come pick you up from the airport. So when you go to the embassy, then they see, oh, for sure, this thing is not fake.
Mhm.
Yes. And then it's signed by by the president of the university.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So how long was your visa? How long were you given the visa for?
So those days is when we used to get the 1 year. In 2010, I got the 1 year. 2015, 1 year. The only time now I got for 5 years was in 2016 when that was the time when it was
Obama.
during Obama's presidency.
Yeah.
So he had visited Kenya and then they had done the deal whereby now you can get for 5 years.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and that is
Thank
still
you,
in effect even
Obama.
now.
If you're
Yeah.
watching, thank you, Obama. Listen to me. I'm
Yes.
flattering
Should
myself.
Obama ever see this, we are very grateful.
Yeah.
Yes, because like that year now I came 2015, then 2016, I had to go back and get another visa, and that's another whole interview again.
Okay.
Yes.
So did you have somebody to host you in for your graduation? The school hosted you?
Yes. Oh, the school hosted, actually the school was so kind to me and my sister. They actually hosted us in the building where they run the church.
Wow.
So we didn't have to pay. Oh my God, that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes we just see how we are favored. The school allowed my sister and I to stay there.
So
But
how
the
long?
other people, they had shown us and gotten us good deals with local like
Hotels.
Yes. So it was not so expensive. And then it was only like 4 or 5 days. And you know, the funny bit, there were many other Kenyans who also had wanted like, no, we are coming to graduate. But unfortunately, I didn't know them, but we met at when we were graduating. I'm like, oh, you guys also from Kenya? Yes. And others were Americans. So yeah, it was a good thing.
Oh, wonderful. And
Yes.
now the third time, is it?
Yes, and then the third time was when I came as a visitor, and then later on I got my R1. Yes.
So did you go back to Kenya after your graduation?
Yes, after my graduation, because I was still working and I was just on my annual leave, you know, the way Kenya, we get the 1 month. So I got the 1 month. I came when the month was over. I went back to Kenya, continued my work. Yes, until 2016. Now, when I came to see if I would get the work visa and stay longer, or depending on how it was going to work out. Yes.
Okay. So tell us about the third time when you came.
Yes, the third time. So now the third time was, let me say, that was the biggest gamble I've ever done with my life, because as I said in one of my videos, that year, that was 2016, I had gotten a promotion. But the previous year in 2015, I was like, I've worked for this church for 12 years. I just need to do something different. So I had been, I know sometimes people ask me, did I have a godfather? How did I get this place? Who did I have connections? And I'm like, as strange as this sounds, is I had no connection.
Okay.
Google was my friend. I knew camps in the US are a big deal over summer. And I
Well,
was like,
summer
what?
comes, whoever is listening, she's talking about what they call summer comes. But go ahead and tell us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I knew about the summer camps, and I was like, you know what? My contract in church is ending in April. Summer camps begin June, July, someplace in August. So I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to find a summer camp. So I would Google Christian camps all over the US, any state. Yes. So that's what I did. I would just Google, then I find, and as I said, my background, and I'm sorry if you're not a Christian and you're wondering why am I talking about God so much, but that's my background. I've worked in church for the last 18 years. So I wanted to continue working with church, you know, share the gospel, teach kids. And it doesn't mean just because they're Christian camps, all they talk about is God. I mean, there are many other activities, you know, there's fun. So I was like, let me find a church related summer camp. So that's what I did. And I found somebody who was willing to help me, who gave me good links on, especially if I was interested in doing church work. So the organization was known as Christian Volunteering.
Okay. So you went
Yes.
online
Mhm.
and found Christian volunteering website.
Yes.
And then what happened? Take us through the steps.
Okay, yes. So as I said, so I was sending emails to anything. Anywhere I see an organization, you're Christian, I write. So what am I writing? I'm like, my name is Mercy. I have this year's experience working with children, and I'm looking to volunteer in a summer camp. Let me know if you help international come and work for you. So this one lady was like, oh, I'm sorry, we only work with Americans, but if you are really interested, I know other opportunities. So that's how she sent me to Christian volunteering. So when I went to the Christian volunteering, my goodness, there were like over 30,000 organizations. So they introduce themselves. They
Is
tell
that
you
a
what they do.
website? Christian volunteering. Is that a website? Okay.
Yes, it's a
Okay.
website.
And
Yes.
it had over 30,000.
Oh my God, it has so many organizations. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, where do I start from? So I was like, okay, let me look at states that I've already been to, or states that I already know other Kenyans. So I started zeroing in, like already I had been to Texas. I have friends and family that live in Maryland. I had, which other state had I gone to? Yes, I knew people in those two. So those were the first two that I zeroed in. But so I found one in Texas, and I found several that were in Pennsylvania because, oh yes, I also knew somebody was in Pennsylvania. So I was like, oh, let me look, Pennsylvania and Maryland, they're not so far from each other. So that's how I zeroed in, because you will see there are so many organizations that are registered to that website. So I'm like, okay, what else can I zero in? I'm like, okay, I'm a foreigner. I don't know how to drive yet. I didn't know how to drive. So let me see if there's something that also provides room and board, so that I zero in. So I try to reduce the numbers. So even though I said Pennsylvania and Texas, I still had like over 10,000. So I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? So then after a while, I was like, okay, let me just zero on the two states. I'm going to settle on Texas and Pennsylvania. So later on, then I found the one that I went, okay, I did apply maybe to 10, because I'm like, I don't know if these people will think I'm real. So I wrote to 10 different ones, and I got responses from like about 5. So one in Texas, they were like, oh, I'm overqualified. They only do with like people who have just come straight from seminary. But now the thing is, I can't remember now what were the names of these organizations to help your viewers, especially if one of the viewer is from seminary, because they like people who have just graduated from seminary, then they give you 1 year worth of experience. So I continued just looking. Then now I was like, well, now I'm going to wait until whoever will respond. So that one, they already disqualified me. Then I found 2. Actually, one was in DC and one was in Pennsylvania. But the one in DC, I would have to commute. And I was like, okay, where the people would have hosted me, it was too far. I mean, it was a well-paying job, but it was just too far. I couldn't figure out how I was going to commute there every single day. Then the one in Pennsylvania, the good thing was they were going to offer me room and board, and they were willing to help me get work papers. If I got myself a visitor's visa, went there, visited, see what they do. If they liked me, they gave me the guarantee that they were going to help me get work papers. So I was like, wow. Even though they were paying me lower than the other one in DC, I was like, they have better things.
Better deal, yeah.
Yes, they had a better deal overall, yes.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I just love your spirit. I really do. It's
yeah,
like,
thank you.
The reason I've even invited you here is because I think sometimes people outside America, especially I'll speak about our Kenyans, people just think things are easy to get, just like somebody else can just do something for you without you putting effort. The reason I love your story is you put so much effort and you went and looked and searched. And I'm hoping this encourages anybody out there who doesn't even know anybody. The fact that you knew somebody, they didn't even help you. You went there and hustled on your own. Okay, so they accepted you, they send you an invitation letter, and then what?
Yeah, oh yes. So like as I had explained, when I wrote, so I would just write and introduce myself. I write my qualifications and what I'm interested in helping out. So this lady was like, oh, this is because she would tell me she would get a lot of junk mail, but when she saw my email, she was like, this is a real person. So let me engage her. So she wrote back to me. She introduced herself. She said she's a director of that summer camp. And then, so she started engaging me in conversation. So we would write each other email, should email. Then the first thing she did is she sent me like a questionnaire that there's no right or wrong answer. It's just she wants to know what kind of a person I am. So she gives you like scenarios, like if a child doesn't speak this, what would you do? If a child did this? So you're supposed to answer honestly. So I did that. Yes, as you said, it was time consuming. And remember, I already had a job. So these are the things I do. I go work 8 to 5, my job in Kenya. I go back home. This is it. In the evening, I'm writing, and then there's also the issue of time difference. So like I'm like, oh, it's in my evening, maybe it's afternoon in the US, so she will get, then I'll respond the following day. So we had several, and also we also did like a Zoom call. So I met her husband. Her husband is also a minister. Then so the husband runs the church, the wife runs the NGO. So they interviewed me, we are talking, they're giving me scenarios, they're interviewing me, and they were like, okay, we hope then you will get the visitor's visa and you're able to come. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So I love your story. So I just want to make this short. So I want us to stop here.
Yes.
And then guys, in my next video, Mercy is going to be talking about after she came here, her life in America, the work culture, how she got the work permit and all that. So stay tuned. Thank you so much, Mercy. We will catch up in the next session.
Okay.
Ready.